We're here at Renault Edams at the start of our pit lane walk ahead of the Punta del Este ePrix. Jean-Paul Driot has joined us. A fantastic start of the season in terms of pace, Jean-Paul, but there were problems in Malaysia. Do you think those are behind you?
We hope so, because it's very important to react very quickly in motor racing with the technical problems. We were a little bit surprised for what happened but when you have a very good pace, it means that you are at the up of everything, at the maximum. And so now we have analyzed, understood, and I hope, rectified the problem. And so we'll see that tomorrow here in Punta del Este.
Cool, best of luck with the weekend. Thank you very much. So that's Jean-Paul Driot, the man in charge of the Renault Edams operation, and he's hoping for better, as is Nico Prost, who's heading back to the garage now. Then we've got the Dragon team. They're very interesting because they were running second and third towards the end of the race in Malaysia, where we were last time, but they ran into suspension problems, and as a result both cars retired in the closing laps, and that's going to be really frustrating for them. So they're going to be ones to watch out for, because the curbs here this weekend are ones you really have to attack in order to get a good lap time. Then we've got the Audi Sport Apt team. Again, their pace has been really strong this season. Lucas Di Grassi taking the victory in Putrajaya and then winning the race and the lead of the championship away from Sebastian Buemi. So he's our championship leader coming into the weekend. Over at Next EV, it's been a little bit more of a difficult weekend and a difficult season so far. We'll just see if we can jump in here with Oliver. So just a quick word, Oliver. What do you think you can do this weekend?
Well, hopefully, we can build on the first two weekends. I think Beijing was a good race for me, coming through from, qualifying has been a bit of a weakness of ours this year, but coming through to finish sixth in that race was, I think, the best result we could achieve that day. And then last race was a bit frustrating, obviously having a sticking throttle that caused the problem in the first car. So, this weekend, looking forward to this track. Done the track walk this morning. The track looks really good. My first time here, so a lot to learn. But hopefully we can build on the first two weekends and score more points again this weekend.
So the accident in Malaysia, you got to the apex and then the throttle just turned on and put you in the wall?
Yeah, basically it was the throttle from the first lap. Basically the throttle was sticking when I lifted off, and it was quite unpredictable. So some corners it would do more than others. I managed 5 laps, which on a street circuit is tricky, and just that corner it just stuck on and pushed me straight in the wall. So it was pretty unfortunate, I think, because again that race was quite a lot happening. Maybe we had a good chance to score points again. We'll give it our best this weekend and see what we can get.
Cool, enjoy it. Thank you very much. So there's Oliver Turvey from the Next EV Team China Racing Squad, and as I say, they're the defending drivers champions, and it hasn't started the way they would have wanted, either for him or for Nelson either. Next up, we've got the Dragon team and the Virgin team. And Jean-Eric Vergne is going to be excited to be back here, I think, because he was really strong here last year, took pole position on his Formula E debut, which was really impressive because he came in as a Formula 1 driver and everyone expected him to be quick, but no one, I don't think, really expected him to stick it on pole, and that's where Jean-Eric won a lot of fans and really proved the calibre of driver he is. Andretti picked up a podium. Robin Freins became, I think, the 6th driver to score points for Andretti in the history of Formula E, which is more than any other team, which was very impressive. Next up, another team that were very strong, and that was Team Aguri. Antonio Felix da Costa was running second at one point. This is Mark Preston, who's the team principal of Aguri, and things were great for you in Putrajaya until a bit of a problem. But were you expecting to have that kind of pace with last year's technology?
We weren't completely sure, although I think that last week's race was obviously in a track that was more of a driver's track. I think this track is going to be a little bit more like Beijing, so I think we'll struggle a little bit here. It's all about curbs and long straights, but I think in Buenos Aires we'll be again quick. So were we surprised? Half and half. Of course, we don't want to say we were surprised, but it was good. So he was obviously super pole and then ran well in the race. So I think it was very good.
Could you have won that race?
Yeah, I think so. It was he was certainly going well. There was no problems on energies, temperatures, all those kind of things. So It just, the electronics shut down, and it wasn't the battery, it was just the electronics said to the battery, can you please turn off?
How difficult temperatures going to be this weekend? Is it going to be as bad as Malaysia?
No, it'll be fine here. So we're ambient temperature, we're 22, whereas in Malaysia it was more, what was it in Malaysia, 28 or so? Yeah. So I think, but Buenos Aires will be hotter again though, because last year was pretty hot in Buenos Aires. So we'll be all right there though as well. So yeah, it'll be good.
Looking forward to getting to Buenos Aires.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. See you later, Mark. So he's the man in charge of the Team Aguri operation. Antonio Felix da Costa, so strong last weekend. And this is a team that's had a strong start to the season. Mahindra, they picked up their first ever podium in the first round of the year in Beijing. They've got a new driver in Oliver Rowland, but they've got an old driver as well. Not old, still
really
looking
old.
young.
Really
Bruno
old.
Senna. Tough start to the year for you, but last year you were mega here. Can you repeat that?
I hope so. We had a good race last weekend in Malaysia, so I hope that we can do another one like this here. Some bad luck in Malaysia, so if we keep our noses clean, I'm sure we can be very strong in the points again. So last year, first few races of the year, always a bit more messiness. Later in the season, things kind of settle down a little bit.
What's this track like to drive? The drivers seem to say it's quite a fast one and a fun one.
It is one of the favorites of the drivers, very fast. Last year, some of the chicanes were a bit on the dangerous side rather than the fast side. But this year they changed the track a little bit. Turn 1 is actually quite cool now with a slightly different layout. So this track is one of the few tracks that we have like really tricky braking and cornering places where you have to still attack, and they become good overtaking spots as well.
Yeah, how tough is Turn 1 going to be here? Because as you say, now it's a curve in through the braking zone.
Well, it's going to be tough. It feels like it's a bit faster than last year's first corner, but at the same time, it is a very tricky braking area. So I think when you get there for the first time in the race with cold brakes and not much regen in the car, it should be lots of smoke up in the air. So, but hopefully no big contact in the field.
Okay, cool. Have a good race. Thank you. So Bruno Senna there, who is joined by Oliver Rowland, new Formula Renault 3.5 champion. Fantastic to have him in the championship, and he's replacing Nick Heidfeld, who hurt his hand in an incident and last time out in Malaysia, and as a result is going to miss this one to aid his recovery. And then finally we've got Venturi, Stefan Sarazan, second on the grid in Putrajaya. Really strong performance from them, but the car let him down just before the race started, and he had to start from the pit lane. Still recovered to finish 4th, which was a very impressive drive from Sarazan and his best result in Formula E so far. So that's a wander down the Punta del Este pit lane. The sun's coming out, which is nice after a couple of days of rain. Make sure you join us for all the action this weekend.
Last year's race provided us with one of the most exciting events of the season.
And we go green in Uruguay, and it's a great start. Look at that from Nelson Piquet Jr. Here's the battle for second place. Massive lockup. Oh, and off goes Sarazan.